Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. It's Sunday morning. Just kind of going through some records and thought I would talk about and do a heavy rotation. Haven't done one in a little bit, I feel like, and just talk about some stuff that I've been listening to, just my collecting patterns as of late, and what's going on in life. So this is, you know, if you're new to the channel, this is as informal as it gets, all right? I pick out a stack of records that I've been listening to or just hanging around my turntable, and I talk about them, and that's it. There's no script, there's no planning, no nothing. It's just me talking about some records. So this is one I've probably listened to the most lately. This is Crosby, Stills, and Nash. This is the Crosby, Stills, and Nash self-titled. This is a test pressing. When I went to Salina, Kansas to go to Analog Productions, Acoustic Sounds, QRP, all that, there were a lot of test pressings. And I can't remember if I talked about it in any of the videos because we have some videos coming up. But I'm telling you guys, there were test pressings everywhere. And me as a collector, I'm like drooling over them. Like, some of them that I've been listening to, I can't talk about because they're not released yet. But let me just tell you, they have a few things coming out that are going to blow your freaking mind. I'm not sure when they're coming out. Probably within the next few months, I would imagine. But there's one in particular that just needed a good, it just needed a really good vinyl repress. And it is mind-blowing. But anyways, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, you know, Mo-Fi did the Ultra Disc one step of it, which was pretty good. This one, in my opinion, is better. This is the test pressing, but it's been released. They did it as a part of their Atlantic 75 series. So if you're not familiar with that, they took for Atlantic 75th anniversary. They're taking 75 Atlantic titles and doing the Analog Productions treatment on them. So they're doing like 45 RPM, 2 LP, like straight from the tapes, all that. Really, really, really killer sounding pressings. But this is one of my absolute favorite albums. Helplessly Hoping on here is my favorite track. It is this, but this whole album is just, oh my gosh, it's so freaking good. And it's just a one that you want to get a good, quiet, clean copy of. With the originals, you can't get it, you know. It's hard to find one that's quiet and clean and all that stuff. So the audiophile pressings help. But in my opinion, if you're going to want to buy one over the other, you know, I think the Ultra Disc one step is like $125 or so. And I think they have these for $60. And it's the same, like 45 RPM, 2 LP, all that stuff. But I'm telling you, this is better, I think. I mean, in my opinion, it's mastered better. It sounds better. But yeah, but anyways, this is the test pressing. The official, it has been released and you can get them. I don't have one with the cover right now, but I ordered a bunch. They're coming to the shop. So if you're local, I got a big Analog Productions order coming in this week. And then I bought a KL cleaner, which is supposed to be the best record cleaner in the world. And it's like, it's nice. So anyways, I'm excited to maybe do a video on the KL. This is in like absolutely no order. It's just kind of what's hanging out around the house. This is Daniel Haight. I don't know. It's called Guitar. He's like an acoustic folk guitar player. This cover is killer. It's like a crystal ball with a dragon in it. But yeah, it's just really good, chill, acoustic, folk type stuff. Private press. Very, very cool. I don't know if you can hear that music. Sorry about that. Somebody came up with a delivery and their car was like, the subs or their, I'm sure you could hear it, but the bass on their car was like, brr, brr, like the whole car was rattling. Anyways, next up is this one. This is called The Storm. This is a hard rock record from Spain. So, you know, if you like Top Men and things like that, that's kind of what this is like. This is, I don't know if it was a white label promo or just came in white label, but it's really awesome. Yeah, but it comes from Spain, and it's just got that really killer guitar, early 70s guitar, hard and heavy sound to it. Yeah, it's great. Just got this in the mail. I've been kind of on a buying hiatus, but some of this stuff has come in from when I was on a rampage. So this is another one. This is the last thing I bought. This is JPT Scare Band. This is incredible. I've talked about this at length before. I have another copy that's got a black cover with white text. These are all like silk screen, like very DIY, homemade, handmade covers. And basically when they made these covers, they made most of them, I think they made like 500 copies or something, I can't remember. But they made most of them the black background with the white text. But then they started messing around with some other ones, like doing experiments and stuff. So there's a handful that have a gold back with red text, and I always wanted one. And one came up for sale, and I was able to grab it for a good price. The back, I think it's totally just blank, which you can see the scare band kind of in there. But anyways, but there's some other colors too. But that's, you know, I really wanted to get one of these. But this is like, man, super heavy, out there, just acid rock. I mean, it's blues rock, but it's just absolutely insane. If you like Truth and Janie, it's a lot like that. Super heavy, just insane guitar solos, stuff like that. This is Blues Set. This is really, really awesome bluesy hard rock from Sweden. Insanely hard to find. This is an original press. A buddy of mine had put it up for sale. He kind of was sending it around to some folks, and I was able to grab it before anybody else. So that's one that's been on my want list for probably 15 years. And I honestly really wanted to get a reissue, but like even the reissues are really tough to find. But got this Art Blakey and the Jazz Messenger. Somebody came in with a bunch of stuff a few weeks ago, and it was all just absolute trash, you know. And then in there was this like Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, super, super clean copy, original press. So that was nice to find. Listen, you hear that insane sound? So I have a Moog, or as you're supposed to say it, Moog. The correct pronunciation is Moog, but it's a synthesizer, Sub 37, I believe is what it's called. But anyways, it is a killer synthesizer that I bought a few years ago. I wanted my kids to have like instruments around that they could play and mess around with and experiment with, because that's really how I kind of started. I think that kids' curiosity, they're not really able, well, they might be able to, but most of the time will not just sit down and practice a guitar or piano, or if you make them do it like that, they'll hate it. You know, my parents never made me practice. I just did it because I liked it. So I want there to be instruments around that they can screw around with until they kind of figure it out. And this synthesizer is super fun. And it's been in my record room for a long time. And my son, Cannon, he's 7. He's like, I want to hook this up to some speakers and play it. So I hooked it up some speakers and put it in the dining room in there, which is the next room over. And they've been messing with it like crazy, and I have been too. It's fun. But anyways, that's just kind of, I've been thinking about that, like how to introduce them into music, and if they want to play, they are introduced early enough, and if they don't want to, they don't have to. This is really weird. This is a Metallica Master of Puppets Colombian pressing. It's the Vertigo Swirl from Colombia. Just weird when somebody brought it in the shop. This is the Jeff Beck Wired Analog Productions 2LP. This is the 45 RPM. And man, I listened to this last night, and it has been a while since I listened to it, and it kind of blew me away how jazz fusion-y it was. Like, you know, Jeff Beck has always had like a kind of an unconventional playing style in accordance to like his peers, you know. I mean, like, he often played with Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton and stuff like that. And they're all, Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton are all blues-based. And he is too, but he really experimented and went a little bit farther and was always kind of evolving, in which I feel like Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page kind of stayed in the same lane. Which, you know me, I love Jimmy Page. And I don't talk about Clapton much, but I love Clapton too. I think that they both have done incredible things. But Jeff Beck, he influenced like a whole generation of guitar players, you know, like Steve Vai, and which he influenced other people too. But just that guitar style, experimental type stuff, really cool. But this is an incredible sounding copy, and it was really nice. Like, I've really been trying to sit down. This couch right here, man, this video does not want to get made. I keep having interruptions. My son had got my Apple Watch, and like apparently you can push record on there, so he stopped the recording of my video. So anyways, but if you watch my room tour video, You can see kind of where my couch is, but it's pretty much in the middle, close enough. And so I've been trying to just sit back, kick back on my couch just for a few minutes every day and listen to a record. Like try to listen to one record every day with no phone, no nothing. Just sit back and really listen to the record. I feel like when I was a kid, I loved doing that. And I would lay on the ground in between my speakers and put on Dark Side of the Moon or something and just like listen to it so intently, just hang on every note, you know. And just I really miss doing that because there's so many distractions and stuff in life now. So I've been trying to do that. So like this Jeff Beck, the other night, I just put it on and just kicked back on my chair and just kind of laid back and was like, oh yeah. It's nice to do that sometimes, you know. I don't get a lot of downtime, but I think it's important, really important to do that, to make that time, because I mean, I've got all these records that are incredible and like audiophile pressings and great stuff that I really don't listen to. I mean, like, I don't listen to them enough. Like I feel guilty about it sometimes, but I do want to have them like a library to where anytime I want to come pick something out, I will. But it's just, I want to spend more time listening to records than looking for records for my personal collection. Because like all the time I'm scanning Discogs and eBay and all this stuff, and I've just kind of gotten to a place where I'm burned out. I've bought so many records in the past few months. I'm just burned out. I don't want to buy anything else for a while. I just want to enjoy some, you know. It ebbs and flows. But I just watched that. Everybody's been talking about a documentary called Squaring the Circle, I think it's called. But it's about the guys who were, sorry about all my ums and uhs. They were designing album art in the 70s for like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, 10cc. I'm trying to remember all the ones they did. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. They did like, it's insane how many record covers they did, like for all Paul McCartney's. But their name was Hipgnosis. And it's really, really cool, but it's crazy just to see the evolution of all this artwork. And everybody's been talking about it. Like, so many people come to the shop, like, have you watched Circle and Square yet? And I'm like, no, because I haven't had time to really sit. But when I was on the plane the other day, I did, and I highly recommend it. It's very good. My friend Corey, who me and him have been, like, trading Zeppelin bootlegs for, I don't know, man, at least 13, 14 years. And, you know, he's gotten a little bit more into the really high-quality Japanese CDs and stuff. And so he's selling off some of the vinyl bootlegs that he doesn't sell anymore. So he brought these in the shop the other day. But I've known him longer than I even like knew Discogs. You know, I've known him a long time, and we've just been trading back and forth. But this is a Destroyer, which I have like 4 other copies of Destroyer, but I didn't have this variation, which is this kind of the main one. And I've been I've been thinking, you know, next one I'm gonna pick up. This is a really nice, super clean one. The original version of this was in like a carrying case, which I'll probably get at some point, but this is a really, really, really nice example of the soundboard Destroyer. There's 2 different Destroyer, well, there's 3 different Destroyer shows, really. The August, I think the 27th is the audience recording. And then the 28th is the soundboard recording, and they're both very good. But the soundboard recording, I have like an earlier generation of it. Anyways, if you're not a Zeppelin nerd, you're probably like, get to the point. But anyways, you guys know I've been collecting Zamrock pretty heavily the past few years, and I've slowed down quite a bit because I've almost got them all. There's really only a handful of Zamrock titles I still need. I've got most of them. And actually, like, I'm on a like buying hiatus. I'm trying not to, but like one just came up that I've never had a chance to get. I don't even know anybody who has one. So I did buy it just because it was kind of in the past 3 or 4 years, however long I've been doing Zamrock, like I've never even heard of anyone having it. It's one of the rarest ones. And so I went ahead and got it because, you know, you got to. But other than that, I've been really good. But this one is Born Free. This has Mike Neone plays in Born Free. Great Zamrock. This is one of the most essential ones, and I have just not ever had one. They're hard to get. I mean, and if you're new to Zamrock, you're probably like, oh, the cover's torched. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. This is not the best copy, but it's listenable. It's not too bad, and the cover is there, so nice to have. And then this one is Black Power Peace. This one is one of the most essential Zamrock records, and I've never had the chance to get one. I've tried for years and years and years, and a friend of mine was selling off a couple things, so I got those too from him. Here's another one. This one is Praise the Load. This is on the same label as Raven. If you know the, I think it's the Raven. It's like a black cover. It's Back to Ohio Blues is the name of the record. It's really killer. Same label as that, but this is like heavy synth prog. Been wanting it a long time. I got it probably a month ago. I'm processing through. I did a few videos back about how I had a buddy that was selling off a bunch of stuff, and I bought like 200 or 300 records from him. So I'm kind of going through that stuff and listening to it and re-sleeving it and cleaning it and storing it away and all that stuff. So this is stuff I'm listening to. I got a lot of things to listen to. This one, man, I've got a long story about this one. So this is a band called Eclipse. Man, I love this record so much. This is from Indiana. Man, I don't even know where to start. I found this record maybe a year ago or a couple years ago. And it is just out of this world Southern rock. It is fantastic. I really wanted to reissue it. The only two issues were this guy, Big Mike Donaldson, was the lead singer and guitar player and everything. He wrote all the songs, all that stuff. He had passed away, and I could not find any of his family. That's like always hard. Man, this sucks. But it was always hard to find people and track people down. That's kind of the hardest part. And also to me, it's kind of fun to try to find people and track people down and listen to their stories and things like that. So months and months and months of me calling random people, like, do you know this person? Do you know this person? Do you know this person? I finally found one of the family members, like a distant nephew or something. And he connected me to the next one, to the next one, next one. I got back to the family. I got the family. And then there's one individual in the family that kind of handles, they have like a Facebook page and things like that. And she just kind of handles that stuff. And as I got down the road talking to her and stuff, it became apparent that they don't own the rights to it. And they can't get in contact with the people that do. And it's just a difficult situation to where it's probably not possible, which sucks. But that's the way it is sometimes. You can't get anybody to sign a contract. You know, the people that own the rights either don't want to be contacted or they don't want to do it. It's weird. But anyways, and then the second big obstacle, which is also tough, is that this was recorded really, it's very lo-fi. The recordings are bad. They sound bad, but the music is so good that it's just, man, I wish there were really good recordings and I wish they sounded better. But anyways, so I've not talked about this record because for the past couple years I've been trying to reissue it, and I've kind of given up on it now, just because I think, you know, I think that it just sounds, the recordings are so low quality. I don't know that I'd want to put out a record that was that sounded that bad, because if you couldn't compare it with the original, you would just think I put out a crappy record, you know what I mean? So, but if you can look this up, it's called Eclipse, and it is a really, really amazing Southern rock record. I love it. I really, really love it. And like I said, I feel like I did everything in my power to do it, and it just couldn't work out for a couple different reasons. But, you know, hopefully at some point somebody will be able to maybe remaster it in a way that it sounds okay, or at least have it up for streaming. It's on, you know, you can stream it on YouTube, but it's a very cool one. This is one I know almost nothing about. This is called Toad Rejects. It's not the Toad that is the Toad that everybody loves. This is like an acoustic type of bluegrassy thing. It's a really rare record that a friend of mine had for a good price, so I bought it. I'm kind of exploring it. This is called Satin Whale. Desert Places. Satin Whale had a bunch of different records. Some of them are real cheap. You know, some of them are better than others, but this is an original pressing on Brain. This is kind of the one to get from Satin Whale. This album is unbelievable. Really, really, really killer krautrock. I love this record. It's got all the stuff, you know, keys, guitars, great. It's just incredible stuff. This is up on streaming as well. Satin Whale, Desert Places, highly, highly recommend that. That's an amazing record. This is one, Dashboard Confessional, A Mark, a Mission, A Brand, a Scar. This came out in 2000 something, early 2000s. I don't remember. 2001, 2, 3, something like that. And this I listened to a lot when it came out. This was not really my thing, but I had a lot of friends that liked it, and a friend of mine made me a cassette of it, and I listened to it in my car all the time, which is funny because there's a cassette on the front. But I did listen to it a lot. So what is it? The Ghost of a Good Thing. So I had a 12-inch or a 10-inch picture disc that they also did with this, that they sold, that I bought at Hot Topic. I got it for $3 at Hot Topic, believe it or not, back then. And it was, the A-side was Hands Down, I think. And then the B-side was Ghost of a Good Thing. Anyways, Hands Down is kind of one of Dashboard Confessional's biggest songs. But man, that 10-inch, I listened to it all the time. I freaking loved it. And when I sold my collection the first time I sold it, and I ended up getting another one. I have one on my shelf over there. I could have just shown it, I guess. But this is an original pressing of this. It's just kind of one of those nostalgic records for me. I love it. I think that Chris Carrabba, the lead singer, and you know, you might not be into the whole acoustic emo thing, which is totally fine, but he's a great songwriter, incredible vocalist. I like Dashboard Confessional, but that's just me. This is one, I have an original of this, but I don't ever listen to it because this one sounds so good. I just listened to this the other night, kicked back and listened to Davis Cup, Walter Davis Jr., Donald Byrd on trumpet, Jackie McLean on alto sax, Walter Davis Jr. on piano, Sam Jones on bass, Art Taylor on drums. This is a fantastic record, and these are in stock on Acoustic Sounds website. I'm telling you, I think they're like $55. It's a 2 LP, 45 RPM, incredible audiophile jazz record. I was blown away by this the other night when I listened to it because I have an original, and it sounds great, but it don't sound that good. This collection I just bought, if you follow me on Instagram, I just got a collection the other day. Oh shoot, it was 2 weeks ago. And there's a lot of like jazz fusion, prog, psych. It was a good collection. And there's some stuff in there that I've never seen before. Like this is a Japanese pressing of the Weather Report live in Tokyo. Never even ever seen this. But I don't know if you guys know this, but there's like a new wave of jazz fusion, you know, like Weather Report, I guess, you know, you would call jazz fusion. Man, I freaking love Weather Report. Specifically like the Jaco Pastorius and all that, but I mean, Weather Report's incredible. This is, but I've not listened to this yet. I'm excited to cut my teeth and listen to it. But yeah, there's like a whole new wave of jazz fusion, and I freaking love it. I've been watching a bunch of like Snarky Puppy videos. If you're not familiar with Snarky Puppy, they're like a group of unbelievable like jazz fusion musicians that are modern like now, and those videos are freaking mind-blowing. Me and my wife were watching one last night, and it was just like you're watching it and you're like, what the heck, how could you possibly be that good at music? And I really wish that when I was young and I was like learning music, I had started listening to jazz earlier, because it's like music has these boxes that it puts everything in. Like, okay, this is country, 3 chords on the truth. This is blues. You know, you got something that you're upset about, and you got these like, you got 12-bar blues, you got 8-bar blues, you got like all these different set standard. This is kind of a blues song, you know, and then rock and roll is a little bit wider. You know, it's pop music, country music, blues music, all wrapped in together, and it can be a little bit more complex than blues or country a lot of times. But jazz, it breaks all those bounds. Like it's like it's like there's more notes that you didn't know existed. It's incredible. And I remember when I first started getting into jazz when I was young. Well, I wasn't into it yet because I didn't understand it. I couldn't understand what was going on. Like my brain didn't understand music that way. It wasn't processing it. It was like I could hear it and enjoy it, but I couldn't make sense of what was going on. I don't know if that makes any sense. If you're a musician, you might get what I'm saying. But over the years, I've listened to it a lot more. Like I'm not big on music theory. Like I'm not a brilliant music theorist or anything like that. But you know, my brain, as it's opened up to all these different types of music, like it makes sense why those notes to go together or don't go together, but you still kind of like it. I think the more you listen to that stuff, the more out there you get in the jazz, the free jazz and all that stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, I just think, I think everybody should listen to jazz. I think if you're a true music lover, you really should try to listen to jazz, because it unlocks parts of your brain to allow you to enjoy a wider spectrum of things, in my opinion. But anyways, this is another record I have no idea. This is Miroslav Videos, Mountain in the Clouds, with John McLaughlin, Joe Henderson, Herbie Hancock, Jack DeJohnette, and Joe Chambers. This is one I'm like, shoot, dude, that freaking lineup, I'm all over it. So I'm excited to hear that. I've never heard it before. This is Jaco Pastorius, with Jaco Pastorius introducing Pat Metheny, Paul Bley. I've not heard this before, never even seen it before, so I'm excited to listen to that. This is another one. It's got Jaco Pastorius and Alphonse Mousson on it, which is, it's gotta be good. This is another one that I've always wanted, talking about weird. I've seen pictures of this, but I've never had one, and it's not like super rare or anything, but I just love that artwork. It's Mothers of Invention, 'Tis the Season to Be Jelly, live in Sweden, 1967. It's a bootleg. The collection that had all the psych and free jazz and prog and all that stuff. It had a bunch of bootlegs, probably like 100 bootlegs in there. It was crazy. This is a really clean Mothers of Invention freak out. These are always destroyed for some reason. This is one I cannot express how clean it is. I've never seen one that's clean before. So that's probably, I'm grading mine. I thought I had this, but I actually did not have this absolutely free. I've had it 1,000 times in the past, but I just didn't have one. This is an original Australian Vertigo of Buffalo Volcanic Rock, which is, man, this is an incredible freaking record. This is, so there's the song Freedom on here. It's the second track. Is, man, if you listen to it, you would almost think it's like a modern doom type of thing. I mean, it is so freaking good and ahead of its time, I think. But it's Australian hard rock. I've had this record for a long time. So I had like a VG copy of the Swirl. And then, so in 1973, they put out a Swirl and they put out a Spaceship Vertigo, which the Spaceship is the second press. And I had like a Near Mint Spaceship and then like a VG Swirl. So I felt like I had to keep them both because the Spaceship one sounded better, but the Swirl was the Swirl. So anyways, I got this really clean Swirl, and so I sold both of them. So 2 out, 1 in. That's how we like to do it, but we never do it that way. But this is outstanding rock from Australia. This is another one from Buffalo. Only Want You for My Body, Buffalo. I've seen this record, but I've never had it, so I've not listened to it. Excited to listen to that. This is another one, Mother's Choice from Buffalo, which I've never listened to this one either, so I'm excited to listen to that. So a friend of mine in Australia was selling off some Buffalo, and so I bought those 3. I got this Television Adventure white label promo. Love television, all that stuff. This is one called Ambrose, Bust Your Nose. This is like Southern rock meets thrash. It's a really cool record that I highly recommend. We have a sealed copy in the shop right now, so if you're around, that's a super cool record. And then this is one called Raw Edge, For Everything There Is a Beginning. I picked this one up just because it is an alien holding an electric guitar. How are you not going to buy this record? But anyways, it didn't have any, no rips of it online anywhere, so I was like, I'll buy it and rip it. And I put it up on I have a YouTube channel called Find This Record, which I rip things that aren't around. So this wasn't anywhere, so I ripped the whole album, and people are like really liking it. It's like Southern rock and prog, I think. I can't remember, but it's enjoyable. It's a cool band. So anyways, if you are into that type of thing, I've been ripping a lot more and putting it on there lately just because I've been out of it for a while and trying to get back into it. But I've got some cool things, but just lately I've been trying to just enjoy what I have here rather than always seeking out more. You gotta sit back and enjoy it sometimes. So anyways, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you guys next time.